Hello and welcome. Today I am going to be checking out your guys' suggestions, and oh boy, you have sent a bunch of them. First off, thank you very much for all of the support on the previous video. I read all of your guys' comments and we got a ton of suggestions. And I also got some feedback from you all. Thank you very much for the feedback. I am always looking for ways to improve the videos. However, I do have to say I'm not too sure I am able to fulfill the feedback that was given. You guys mentioned I should play for more than one match, and that the games get better later on. Now, the thing with tower defense games, if it's slow and sluggish at the beginning, the grind is going to be slow and sluggish. One of the suggestions I got was to play until I win, which I thought was a really good idea, and so I actually have started doing this. I end up trying to dive deeper in a few of the games from the last video, and I ended up playing 12 matches for 4 hours across 2 games and only getting 1 total win. So, if I were to do this for all of the games suggested, I would end up spending about 20 to 30 hours and 40 to 50 hours on the high end of things. If you guys truly believe that I should play a game for more than just one match, let me know in the comment down below with your suggestion, and I will do my best to get around to that. Now, just like last time, I am basing my judgment purely on first impressions, how it feels, and everything I find. If a game does interest you, I highly recommend you check out the game for yourself and figure out if it truly is better or not, depending on how you have your experience with the game. My goal here is to showcase games to you all, and I hope that you find some awesome games to play. As always, the links are going to be down below in the description. And now let's get right into a game that a ton of you guys have suggested. Now, welcome to World Tower Defense. I've found a few of your guys' comments very funny about this one. Some of you guys mentioned that I wouldn't like this one. I actually really like this one. Now, some of you guys might have realized, but I have towers down here. I do have progress, and all of this is from the very beginning of the game, years ago. I haven't played this game since then, so this is going to be really new to me as for all of the new mechanics and things we're going to be diving into here. Welcome to the tutorial. Menu, accessories, classic, equip, great job, huge. Welcome to the battlefield. Current money, base HP, place unit here, click unit, place unit, enemies will spawn. We have enough money, we can upgrade. Alright, we got a boss over here and he's gonna help us. Alright, the tutorial has thrown out a summoner, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know what the hell I learned this tutorial other than the basic UI and placing of units. There's one more important thing you need to learn, stalling. Blue placement area has been added. Enemies need to attack your units to advance. Place cheap units in the blue area to prevent the next enemy from advancing. We did it! You completed this tutorial. It's time for the next step. Okay. Enter the desert and play casual mode. If you lose, it's fine. You get currency. Okay, cool. I guess we're doing this now. The pacing for the actual match is way better than the pacing for the tutorial. Alright, this definitely looks like the end. I would imagine this might be possible, but wow, that's quite a hefty task. Alright, we have now completed the tutorial and a match since we were thrown right into it. And as a new player, we come out with 2.3 thousand and we can buy pretty much everything by the looks of it. Everything is within our price range. We additionally got this. Alright, to give you a rundown, here is the menu and here is all of our units. These ones over here cost credits, these ones cost trophies, these ones are special units, and there's a few that I am not aware of. There are accessories, and this is what I'm familiar with. And then there's also trinkets, which I am not aware of since it's been a very long time since I played. Now, a really cool aspect of the game is loadouts. Over here, we got some missions and global missions. We also have a currency exchange over here, so in case you need something and you have an overwhelming amount of something else, you can easily exchange. Over here, we have some challenges, a catalog to check out enemy information. Over here, we got some purchases, and to be quite honest, a large amount of these are just gonna be cosmetics, so these are totally if you just want to support the developers by the looks of it. The game has an overwhelming amount of different badges here, which is really cool to see, because that just means there's gonna be a bunch of stuff to do, and the rest of it is cosmetics. Overall, the game is greatly unique. When it comes to first impressions with my new account, the tutorial really weighed down the experience with how slow and boring it was. It feels like the developers had to tone down the difficulty and the pacing of it for the tutorial area, with good reason of course for new players, but in doing so, the economy didn't get better, the pacing didn't get better, and it felt way more drawn out when it shouldn't have. Other than that, the actual game itself is great, it's got a ton of content, and I would recommend checking it out. Now, when it comes to tower defense games, I have actually never heard of this game, but a huge amount of you guys wanted me to check it out. This is Paradigm Shift Tower Defense. By the thumbnails alone, this looks really cool. Whoa, that was an awesome effect. Do you want the tutorial? Sure. When it comes to the tutorial, I'm honestly not sure what we're doing the tutorial for at this point, because we're at quite a few waves later, and it just seems like a normal tower defense. I will mention the UI is very clean though. Check this out. Everything's animated, everything feels alive, everything is really nicely done. As for the enemies, they have a similar UI here. I kind of wish you could click on the enemy to have its information on the side while it moves. Okay, now we're going to be seeing flying enemies, so this is interesting. Oh. The little animation, that's quite nice. Does he do anything? He's got a weapon, so I'm curious if he'll actually attack or stun, be it a health bar or just a status. Ah, we do get that. Alright, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think anyone in the world would need this tutorial. What I'm getting at is the game didn't seem like it had anything unique, like statuses, passives, abilities, but we'll take a further look most definitely. Alright, here is all of our towers, and it seems like there's loadouts. That's really cool. Over here, we have ultimatums inside of the tower tab, and it seems like you can exchange your EXP to get cores, and those cores will allow you to get upgrades for some towers. This is our starting tower, and if we look over here, this is going to be its cost inside of the game, and these are all the stats regarding it. We've got daily rewards over here, and a bonus. Okay, that's cool. Enemy intel is right here for all of the different difficulties? Wow. Okay. That is very unexpected, but pretty cool. Now, when it comes to actually playing the game, we have different main aspects and then their difficulties. So if we want to play a basic normal match, we would go to classic and pick the difficulty. After selecting what we want to go into, it's actually kind of like an elevator hosting. So you can hop into one of these, similar to, I believe the game was Tower Battles? Yes, I was correct. Similar to Tower Battles, where they have a bunch of servers and little rooms you can join into, and it'll show if anyone's in there as well, and you all together can go into the match. On the topic of Tower Battles, I'm actually surprised, but no one recommended this one. Alright, here we are. Let's see if the actual game has something a little bit more unique when it comes to the actual combat and progression. It kind of feels like the game has an auto skip that I'm just not noticing. Because usually tower defense games will allow you to just clear the wave and then automatically spawn in the next. But this one's just sending everything it's got. A huge amount of you guys wanted me to play this one, so there's gotta be something, right? So far, it's just your typical tower defense game. We got the big boss with huge health bar, regular units, and then tough units, and then invisible units, and fast units. That's about it. We did get flying units during the tutorial, but nothing really stands out in the actual gameplay. Okay, we have a ranger over here. I'm really hoping that it kills my units or something. I am kind of desperate at this moment to see something cool. There it is! It shoots into the air and somehow stuns everyone. These guys got crates on their hands, and I'm assuming that on death it opens up and spawns something. Basically, your mystery zombie. Conclusion? Yes, that is a mystery zombie. However, if it dies instantly, the zombie inside of the crate does not get a surviving chance at all. I didn't really notice these guys. I thought they were just beefier enemies. They're explosive, so yes, it's even more stuns. I'm noticing a trend here. Okay, we have a bunch of elite walkers, we got 3 rangers, and we got the boss. The boss, oddly enough, spawns on wave 16. Something like a stun immunity or barrier or some type of support would do wonders with this game. There's most likely going to be something, right? Oh, wave 17 continues. That's not like the final boss. That's still weird that it's on wave 16, but all right. We got the fast big zombie. Oh, we got it. The Elite Shadow, which is a boss fast. Well, it looks fast. Hidden. There it goes. It's basically just a walking health bar. What are these? Why they're energized. Okay, they're just faster, fast zombies. I got really annoyed of the stun spam, so I placed these ones here as sacrifices. We now have the Elite Tough, which is a large health bar. All right, we have the Elite Stampede, Unstoppable Supermasses. What's a supermass? They only have 175 HP, unless it's something specific. Oh, it's a kill count. Okay. The Elite Stampede is just a gimmick to throw out as many units as you can. I'm gonna be honest with you, I was looking forward to the Elite Stampede, but after seeing what it is, I'm kinda not. You could just crowd control everything if you have crowd control. This is just a new player wall. In essence, it's the game saying, screw you, get a crowd control unit or die. Unless our DPS can keep up with 700 times whatever this amount is. Yeah, our DPS cannot handle 700 times whatever the amount was, with an additional 600 times whatever that amount is, and then whatever this is. Alright, at the end of it, we got 162 credits. We're running it back one more time to see if crowd control does anything, but other than that, it just looks like a basic tower defense game until you dive deeper into it. I tried to do hard mode for this game, but you do need to complete a requirement before you can play hard mode. So if you do play this game, I hope you have fun with the grind. However, the currency grind doesn't seem all too bad. That's quite a stretch though. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know if crowd control is worth it. It just kind of ruins your economy and you take an earlier loss. But also the stun is just pretty annoying to deal with regardless, so that's fun. My conclusion? The game's got a bunch of content if you're looking for something with a ton of content. However, the initial gameplay in easy mode that I've experienced is really tedious and boring. You have all of the basic zombies that you need, and in addition, the game makes it tedious by having you deal with a bunch of stun spam and horde spam way later. The gimmick for this wave was really cool, but I really wish they went further and made it something special rather than just a huge wall for new players to deal with. Guys, it's quite literally that shrimple. Hello and welcome to TDS. I feel like everyone knows about this game. Okay, this is actually cool. I didn't know there was a tutorial.
Welcome, recruit. Let's get started teaching you the basics.
That's cool.
Well done. Here's a sniper tower. It fires slowly but has incredible range.
That's cool. This is actually really cool. It's a very interactive tutorial. Extremely short. That's cool. Dude, I haven't played easy mode in forever. I'm just gonna go with this one because it looks cool. I am not doing Space City or U-Turn. When it comes to TDS, I think it's just going to be a pretty normal and basic tower defense game, at least until you get into the higher waves. So our judgment is just going to be this first experience, and we'll see how it goes. All right, we have our first boss. It's your normal boss, just a giant health bar, basic. I honestly don't think anything is going to happen in the easiest difficulty other than the final boss, which might do a few stuns, some summons, maybe health regen, unless I'm misremembering, and that's the difficulty afterwards. So it's going to be your standard experience. Although, I will say, I am quite surprised how balanced easy mode is for a new player to just kinda dive into. We're holding up a pretty good fight against everything being thrown. I know it's the easiest one, but other games on the easiest difficulty will struggle or will possibly even lose on our first attempt. In addition to that, we have this little dude after completing the tutorial, a crowd control. Usually, games will only give you the standard starter or the starter plus a long-range unit, but we actually get a little bonus here. It might not seem like much, but this allows us to actually maintain control of the situation quite easily, especially with those breakers. Any huge hordes, we have this little friend to deal with them. And there's our summoner, and we have these two to deal with it as well. Now all of our other units can focus the damage output onto the big lad. What I'm essentially getting at is the balance is really nice for new players. Here are some energized, which are just fast enemies. And really the only unique thing that we've got is the breakers so far. Alright, the final wave has begun, and we're going to be dealing with the boss pretty soon. I don't remember if he does summons, so I'm gonna have to put one of these guys here. No, I think it's a different boss that does summons. This guy, I think, is just a big health bar. Oh, he does do stunning, though, so that's nice. This fight is surprisingly very forgiving. I didn't expect this, but we're generating a ton of money really easily. The Brute actually had some really cool attacks, from his single target kind of area effect, and then kind of like a dispersed array of shrapnel everywheres. TDS has a bunch of different towers in the game, and it also has exclusive ones. These exclusive ones return in Game Pass purchases, so if you did miss out on these, you will have to fork up a bunch of cash to get them. The game also has items that you can activate during a match. Different items will either support you or completely destroy the wave of enemies. In addition, the game got a passive upgrade tree, so you can get some benefits that make it easier and way more fun as you progress. If you are curious about enemies, there is an index alongside an area for the maps and an area for achievements. The game does have daily quests, weekly quests, missions, and event missions. The game has a bunch of different game modes, from hardcore to PvP, regular survival, special modes, and mess around in sandbox. When it comes down to difficulties, there's 6 different difficulties, and each one has its own little gimmick as you play the harder ones. And lastly, the game has a huge amount of different maps that you can play on. If you're curious about the modifiers, here are all of the modifiers. You will have to unlock them by beating their challenge, and then you can mess around with them. Alright, after completing that, yeah, it's a pretty basic tower defense experience for a new player. Overall, this was a super short, sweet, simple experience. The tutorial was smooth, the gameplay itself was smooth for the easiest difficulty. I like having the towers that we got right off the bat, and surprisingly, I actually want to play another match. Now, I won't, because I have an actual main account with progression. But if I were a completely new user, I would most definitely dive deeper into this one. Hey, this is me from the future. Roblox had an update during this recording session, and it broke all of my game audio, so the battle bricks might be a little bit quiet during this segment. I apologize. Hello, and welcome to the battle bricks. If you have ever played the Battle Cats before, this is going to be very similar. Once again, we're on my new account to get a fresh experience because I have played this game before. Now, the game has 2 sets of chapters, the main chapters and sub-chapters. Sub-chapters are going to be like challenges, and the main chapter is going to be the main progression. When it comes to the main progression, there are multiple chapters, and then there's a few that are in progress. When it comes to the game itself, we have quite a few options here. First off, we can get daily streak rewards for joining into the game and playing a little bit. The currency we just got from that will allow us to roll. And if you have played gacha games before, you will be familiar with banners, and this game has a bunch of them that you can choose from and gamble inside of to try and get their unique units. Now, you don't have to worry about gambling all too much. We will get other units through just progressing and playing the different stages in the game. And we'll also be able to get this currency known as XP, and this XP will be for upgrading stuff. For example, we can upgrade our little unit, and we can also upgrade our base by upgrading the various different passives we got up here, and we can also purchase a new base and a new bank to have a different trait. Now we're actually in a match. WASD or arrow keys to move, or can move left and right. As for the gameplay, it starts out slow and steady, introducing basic units, and then it advances to new ones here and there. So you have to get used to them, and you'll have to get used to finding what works against what. But other than that, it's a pretty quality game. When it comes to the downsides of the game, you are going to be repeating stages over and over. Mostly when you hit a dead end and you need some more XP to upgrade your currently existing units. And whenever you do that, as you can see here, the value does decrease for the repeat. So the grind of the game is most definitely going to be pretty tedious later on, especially when you add in new units that you're going to have to manage and take care of. If you don't mind this being the entire gameplay, then yeah, I would say give it a try. This is Silly Defense. I have actually never played this game before, so I'm looking forward to trying it out. You go to the play here thing, and then you got survival for level 5. Level 10 is whatever that is. Level 15 over here, and level 45 here. The only option is custom? There's no, like, normal mode? Okay, well, before we dive into that, let's look at what's down here. Here is our inventory, and we have a bunch of other stuff on our side over here. This is all of the towers. Here are some boosts that you can activate. There's also loadouts, which is nice. Here are some rewards, and we actually got one. We get a little bit of EXP. There's perks. Bonuses, which is an exchange program to change out trophies to currency. There are guilds in this game, and this is actually pretty cool. Depending on the guild you enter, you get some benefit. Although you do get a debuff as well. But regardless, this is really cool. Something pretty cool is that the game has guidebooks. I just wish that the guidebooks were actually usable. But I suppose it does make sense to lock them until the player reaches the point. Alright, now that we're in, we get thrown into a basic area, but you would be incorrect, because this is actually the inventory, despite it looking like just standard background. There's a change map right here, and over here is a mode vote. Here are all of the different modes you have. This is all of the different maps, and now that we're actually in it, we can choose a difficulty by the looks of it. It feels kind of weird to get a recommendation of towers for the different modes. In essence, what I'm getting, it feels like the game has a meta of its own that it wants all players to just go through by the looks of it. That's probably not the case, but it just feels that way due to how it's being presented. As for the units, we got a basic one line. We have a timescale here, but it's behind level 5, so we can't use it. Okay, we got something cool for once. It's acid waste. If it does something, I'll be happy. If it's just a health bar with a different design, I am sad. Yeah, no, it does nothing. I don't know how or why, but our base has 101 HP. Ah, there we go. Everything looks pretty nice, but that's kind of where it stops so far. Alright, we got a new one. This is called Acid Bot. Does it do anything cool? Once again, no. Oh wow, yeah, those are definitely hidden. And we have an acid liquid. But is it just another beefy health bar? Okay, it does nothing as well. And we also have an acid hole. Oh, what the hell? Aboriginal. Alright, we're gonna take a hit from that one. Here he is again, and we can actually see that he has shield, so that's pretty cool. And now we have the acid spitter. The acid spitter does actually do something. It shoots our unit and stuns it. Okay, well, good to know. Is it dead or is it... Okay, it died. Ah, well, that's fun. It also kills with an explosive. Good. This is actually a challenging boss fight. This is cool. Ah, well, that sucks to see. Okay, we did win. And we got a bronze trophy, coins, and EXP. We also have a piggy bank, which I'm not too sure about. Now that we're back here, we can check out the inventory, claim some rewards, grab our bonus, and check out some new towers. I will admit, It's pretty cool that there are different vehicles instead of your typical just aviation and summoners. I'm not too sure what some of these symbols mean when it comes to the different units. I got curious about that, and they're actually connected to these by the looks of it. As for a conclusion to this game, the game is surprisingly alright. It has a bunch of content from the different towers, the perks, the guild system, and much more. This is definitely a game that I hope ramps up way later when it comes to the different aspects you're going to be encountering. We got a little glimpse into my hopes and dreams with the boss fight being something actually challenging compared to other games. So overall, this was a nice surprise. The only thing I'm disappointed about is the lobby system after you hop into a match. The area where you pick a map in. The way it's designed made me think it was just a basic area with basic meshes and no real aspect connected to them. Other than that, yeah, I'd say give this one a try. Hello and welcome. This game is Tower Galactica, and I have played this one before as well. Off of memory, this game is way more focused on storyline and progressing through it. So you're going to be going from one stage to another and learning the story, improving your loadout, and much more. When it comes to our equipment, our towers are going to be all of these over here. It seems like we can get some player upgrades as well with some passive abilities such as sprinting and dashing. And the game has a bunch of achievements. There is also an index over in the bottom corner, and it shows towers, enemies, and entries. As mentioned, this is going to be a story-based game, and it's going to have its own progression, and we can see that right here with the little map and progression that we'll be taking. And here we are. What a lovely planet. Now, the way upgrades work is that there is a tier and then there's options. We can upgrade our options, but then if we want to go further, we gotta upgrade the tier. So if we were to press that, now we have some options for fire rate upgrades. Now, when it comes to the enemies, we're not missing all too much. There's a few passives connected to a few of these guys, like these icons right here, but if you wanted me to tell you what they are, I have no idea myself. This is honestly where a tutorial could help, or a little information guide somewheres. We have an elite over here, and surprisingly, the elite is the only one without a passive. And here's the boss. He takes minus 100% energy. I'm thinking he's gonna take a reduction? I still don't know if that's good or bad, if it does a reduction or just a solid percentage. Alright, the boss has been killed. We have succeeded. Oh, cool. They die if the boss is killed. It's just an automatic win. We did it! And wow, that's very hard to read. I actually do have to wear glasses, and even with them, this is incredibly hard to see. Taking a look at the map, we can advance to over here now. And I would have to imagine these other question marks are further progression once we cleared this entire area. If we go a little bit closer to the planet, we can get a brief description of what we can expect and some advice. The game itself is alright. The main gimmick of it is going to be the story and the way you progress through the different stages, which means it's really annoying if you're the only one playing because you have no one to help you at all, and so if you get stuck on a stage, you're kind of screwed brute forcing your way to victory. That's coming from experience. I have replayed stage 2 and stage 3 multiple times now. To the awesome person that left a suggestion that I should go to this area in the world, sorry there lad, I can't make it. As for the gameplay itself, the mechanics are pretty straightforward and simple. The enemies are going to be simple. There's a cool passive feature going on with the different enemies and statuses, but other than that, my first impressions and experience led me to this score. It's a slow-paced tower defense with a story attached to it. That's about it. If you're looking for something that plays around these lines, this one's going to be perfect for you, but for me, it was way too slow. Regardless, I think you should give it a shot if it seems interesting. Who paywalls an option? Now, I would love to show you some more games, but you guys sent so many that it's actually hard to keep track of. By the way, does this count as a tower defense? One of you guys suggested it. Guys, I don't think it's going so well. I may be screwed. So you guys are gonna have to sadly wait a while I try to get to as many games as I can. However, feel free to leave some more comments, let me know what I should change, what I should do next time, and what games I should check out. Now, as for all of the games in this video, you can find all of the links down below in the description. And I hope that you find some new and fun games to play. Now, as for this video, that's gonna be all, and I hope you enjoyed. I will see ya.